So you're building a career in DevOps. And you can feel it, right? The ground is shifting under your feet. The goalposts have completely moved. The real question is, how do you go from knowing the core skills to becoming a true platform engineering master by 2026? Well, let's break down the exact blueprint that's going to get you there.
And this quote right here, it just nails it. The game has totally changed. Look, it's not about just automating a few tasks with scripts anymore. Nope, we're talking about architecting the entire platform that lets developers build and deploy their software seamlessly. This is a huge shift, and it's exactly why you need a new roadmap.
That's the big question, isn't it? I mean, with all the tools and technologies flying around, it is so easy to feel completely lost. But hey, don't sweat it. We're about to lay out a clear, step-by-step path to help you navigate this whole thing.
Okay, think of this as our map for the whole journey. We're going to start with the absolute essentials in the first 3 months, building a rock-solid base. Then, for the next 6 months, we're going to dive deep into the world of cloud and containers. We'll wrap up year 1 by mastering the automated pipeline, and then in year 2, that's when we take a leap into the future with platform engineering and AI ops.
All right, first things first. You can't build a skyscraper on sand, right? It's just common sense. These first 3 months are all about creating that solid foundation, that bedrock. Nailing these basics is what's going to give you the confidence and the skills to tackle all the more advanced tools later on.
So, what's actually in this foundational toolkit? First up, you've got to be a wizard on the Linux command line. And I mean really understand how the OS works, from the kernel to the shell, and getting lightning fast with tools like grep and awk. Next, scripting. You'll need Bash for daily tasks for sure, but you'll also need a language like Python or Go to build more serious, complex tools. Then, you have to speak the language of the internet, networking. Things like DNS, TCP/IP, everything we build runs on a network. And finally, let's talk Git. We're going way beyond the basics here. You need to master professional strategies like Git flow and rebasing to manage huge code bases without creating chaos.
Okay, foundation is solid. Now we get to the really fun part, building the modern stack. This is where we get our hands dirty with the technologies that power pretty much every single modern app you use today. And the absolute core philosophy here is something called Infrastructure as Code, or IAC. Look, think of it this way. Instead of logging into a console and manually clicking buttons to set up a server, you write a script that defines exactly what that server should look like. This means your entire infrastructure can be repeated, it's version controlled, and it's fully automated. It is an absolute game changer, no exaggeration.
And this slide just says it all, doesn't it? On the left, that's the old way. Some poor admin, it's 2 a.m., they're manually clicking around just praying they don't break something. On the right, that's the new way. It's calm, it's controlled, it's repeatable. You write the code, you run the plan, and you have total confidence in what's going to happen. That is the power of ISC.
So, what tools are we going to use to make this happen? First, you'll use Docker to package your apps into neat little containers. This solves that classic, well, it works on my machine problem forever. Then you'll use Kubernetes and Helm to manage thousands of those containers at scale, making sure your apps are always up and running. Of course, all this will live on a major cloud like AWS. And finally, you'll tie it all together with ISC tools, like Terraform to build your infrastructure and Ansible to configure it. Okay, so we've got our foundation. We've got our modern stack. Now it's time to glue it all together. This phase is all about building that automated pipeline that takes code from a developer's laptop and gets it into production, seamlessly, and most importantly, securely.
And here's how that pipeline works, broken down into 4 simple steps. A developer commits their code. That single action automatically kicks off a build and a whole suite of tests. Then, and this is critical, we scan everything, the code, the container, for any known security issues. Only if every single one of those checks passes does the app get automatically deployed using a modern GitOps tool like Argo CD.
And look, the really crucial thing here is to build security in from the very beginning. That's what we call DevSecOps. It means using tools like SonarQube to scan your code for bugs, Trivy to check your containers for vulnerabilities, and something like Vault to securely manage all your secrets, your passwords, your API keys, keeping them completely out of your code, period.
All right, you made it through year 1. You are now a seriously skilled DevOps engineer. But to really be at the top of your game by 2026, we have to look ahead. This is where we separate the good from the truly exceptional.
And this is a massive mindset shift.
Traditional DevOps can feel really reactive. You're basically a firefighter, putting out fires, fixing problems, answering tickets. Platform engineering is proactive. You're an architect. You are building a self-service platform, a paved road that empowers hundreds of other developers to move faster and safer without ever needing your help.
So what kind of skills are we talking about for this new world? Well, you'll need deep expertise in observability with tools like Prometheus and OpenTelemetry so you can really understand what's happening inside your systems. You'll be building developer portals with tools like Backstage. And yes, you're going to start using AI to analyze logs, predict failures, and even automate the creation of your infrastructure code. How cool is that?
Whew, okay, we have covered a ton of ground. So to make it super easy for you, we've put together this simple visual checklist that summarizes this entire 2-year journey. I want you to think of this as your personal blueprint. It covers every single key area we talked about, from the operating system all the way to security, and it lists the essential technologies you need to get under your belt. Use this to track your own progress, see where you might have gaps, and just stay on course to becoming a top-tier platform engineer.
So there it is, the complete blueprint for DevOps mastery in 2026, from the absolute fundamentals all the way to the cutting edge. The path is clear. The blueprint is right here in front of you. The only question left is, what are you going to build first?